Hey everyone, this is Denise with Creates with Love. I wanted to say welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a garden flag. It's the kind that you hang outside, that you hang on like a wrought iron holder. And I'm going to be using HTV, which is heat transfer vinyl, and I want to be using glitter because I really want it to glimmer. We don't get a whole lot of sunshine and bright skies in the winter time, so I thought the glitter would look pretty outside and help reflect from the sun when we do get it. Alrighty, so in order to do this, I kind of wanted to do a Christmas one, and I wanted to show you from the beginning of how I go and pick my images. So I go ahead and click on image. I know that I want a Christmas tree truck. Now I could put just truck, but this is going to fine tune the search a little bit to where I don't have as many to search. I know that this is the one that I wanted. I had seen this the other day when I was working on another project, and I was like, oh, this would be perfect for my garden flag. So I'm going to go ahead and insert this image because I know that I want that one. And then I want another one that's going to say Merry Christmas. And I've seen some that were already done, so I don't have to go worry about choosing the font. It's already done up for me, and I like it, and I think it will look good with the truck if I can find it. I remember it had stars in it. There it is. And I like the slant of it. It will go well with that tree hanging out of the back of the truck. All right, so basically this is all I want. Now, this garden flag I have is pretty big. So in order to try to take the confusion out of what size do I make this, right? Do I want it like this big or this big? I'm going to make myself a template and pretend that it's my garden flag. So I'm just going to choose a shape, choose a square. I'm going to unlock it up here so I can change the proportion of the size. My garden flag that I have is 12 inches wide by 18 inches long. And I'm just hit enter with my keyboard, and I'm going to lock that padlock. So right now, this right here is 12 by 18. And you can see on the right-hand side, you've got a warning saying that it's too big for your mat to cut. Well, it's not a problem because we're not going to use it to cut. We're actually just using it as a little cheater for us to see what size we want our images. So not to worry. Now, our images are behind this. So they didn't go anywhere. They're just behind it. So I'm going to right click and choose move backwards. Actually, I should have put send to back. There we go. That puts it behind both images. So perfect. We've got what we want on top of our little pretend template here. Now, the good thing about the way that they've set up Design Space is that it would be kind of difficult for me to kind of move this around and have to scroll back and forth to check everything else. But down here, you have an option to shrink your canvas size down so you can fit your image better here. The cool thing about it is it still cuts your sizes to match your template, which is still the same size. All we did was shrink it so we could see it better. So we're going to put the truck, I want it to be down kind of towards the bottom, kind of a good size. Let me just move this a little bit so I've got it. Okay, I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. There we go. Now I've got the whole thing in there. All right. And we don't have to worry about really lining it up so much or centering it because remember, we're not going to cut out this outside image. We're going to be lining it up when we go to iron it on. So that's kind of cool that we don't have to worry about that. This is just for our eyes. Now, I want to remember not to put it too close up here because that's where the rod goes through the garden flag. So I might want to make this a tad bit smaller and move this down. I think this is good. I don't want it too close to the edge. I want there just to be some boundary. And if I wanted to, just for looks, my garden flag, if I wanted to change it to match the color, it's like it's not an actual burlap, but it's kind of close to the burlap. So kind of like there, but actually more like this. And I can hit advanced and move this to about the color that I think it might be. That might be about like, that looks kind of yellowish, but you get the gist. You can kind of put it to where the color that you is, or that it is, so that it just kind of helps you visually see what the project is going to be when you're done. All right, now I like the depth and the proportion of everything. I could make this a tad smaller, bring them down a little bit, and bring this wider. Since it's glitter, I think I like that. Now, if I wanted to, I'm only going to be using, you know, I could even change, because actually I want this to be gold. You don't have to do this, but it helps me fine tune what it's going to be looking like. So that's kind of gold. And I know that my truck isn't going to be this color, because the color of my truck or my glitter iron-on is more of a brighter red. So I can do this. I will be using green. So you'd want to click on it here, more of a brighter green. So that's kind of what mine's going to look like. You know, the silver, I'm going to use glitter for everything. I could choose to use just regular silver iron-on here, but I want it all to be glittery and shiny and blingy. So I like how this looks, so I'm going to go ahead, and there's nothing we need to do except for, because it is iron-on, once we send it to the Cricut, we want to make sure that we mirror it. So before we do that, we don't want it to cut this, right? This is how we want it. You can see as I make it bigger, the images become bigger. It just matches it. So that is how awesome it's going to look. All right, so I'm going to take this here. We want to get rid of it because remember, we're not going to cut it. So I'm going to highlight it and just click on the X, and now it's gone. These are perfect and ready to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and save it because I know that it's exactly how I want it to be. And I'm just going to put red truck garden flag. Okay. And then hit save. I will change it to public later, but for now I want to keep it as is. Okay, so now I've got it saved, and I'm going to click on make it. All right, and this is where we can mirror everything. It's already got all of our colors are on separate mats. That's perfect. And all we need to do is mirror each individual mat. So hit the little slider. Once it's green, it means it's mirrored. Click on the black one, mirror, red one, mirror, gold, mirror, green, mirror. Bring it back up to the top one, so it cuts that one first, and click on continue. And it's hooking up my maker, but you could use this with your Cricut Explorer Air or the maker, either one. And I'm just using glitter iron-on. So I've already got it there. I've already got default pressure. I don't need any more pressure than that. I've got a good blade, so I'm confident that that one's going to work for me. And it just reminds you, make sure your mirror is on, and you want to make sure that you put the shiny side down on the mat. So that is how you're going to line it up. All right, so I will meet you on over by the maker in just a moment. All righty. So the first color I think is going to be our silver color. So I've got my mat here. Let me grab my silver. So again, you want to put iron on. I would buy this in the bulk. If you don't have it in a bulk, you know, then it would come on the little rolls. But these, most of them, I think I have, all the colors are in bulk except for the green. In any case, got a little goober there. Okay, so we're going to line it up, and I'm not going to worry about cutting it, right, because I'm just going to peel it off since it's a bulk roll. It's just how I prefer to do it. The tricky part is just getting it kind of stuck there, but once you do, you just kind of roll it out. There we go. Just make sure it's stuck on there pretty good. I've been using this mat a lot, but it's still got some life in it before I need to clean it and get more life out of it. Now, if I wasn't worried about filming this, I would turn it this way, and then I don't have to worry about this flopping back and forth or holding it. But in order to capture it so that you all can see it on the camera, I have a hair clip that I usually use, but it's not sitting here, and sometimes I'll just snap it here and then I can feel comfortable walking away. But Anyhow, we use a fine point blade, and we're going to load. That's the arrow button. We're going to load it. And once this little Cricut C starts flashing, that means we can hit it, and that's for go. So if you wanted, you could kind of guesstimate what size you want and just cut it off. So you have options. As usual with crafting, it's whatever works for you. Okay, so it's telling us to unload the mat. And I'm just going to roll it on off of here. And I'll just set that here for now. I'm going to get my Licks color going, which is black. So I've got all the weeding done. So now I'm going to turn my heat press back on. I checked the heat press guide settings, and this material is kind of a combination. It works out to be 320 for my Easy Press 2, which is what I'm using today. And I want to make sure that I use once I start layering, I want to make sure that I use a heat pressing sheet, which is what this is, so I can protect my layers as I layer them. And then we'll do the final press at the end. So I got my heat press is just over to the right. I'm going to be using my big one, so I can make sure I get the whole base of the flag. Okay, so here's the flag. I really like these. They're double-sided, so you could actually use both sides. Now at the top, that's where the bar goes through, the iron bar. So you probably want to bring your design down beyond that point. You don't have to, but I think it would probably look nicer if you did. Now, again, like I said, it's actually two-sided, two different pieces. So I think what you could do is you could put a design on one side and a different design on the other. So for instance, maybe a Christmas on one side and perhaps a winter one on the other side. So it would actually be really versatile. Even if you had a monogram on each side, I think it would look really cool. You know, sometimes we put our flags in the middle of the yard, not always just up against a wall or something. Anyhow, these are on Amazon and I will link below in the description. Alrighty. So what we're going to be doing is basically we're going to be tack setting it. So we're going to try to press it for less of the time. That way we're not putting too much heat on the final product when we get all of our layers on. And again, remember, we're not layering on top of the glitter itself. It's going in between. But we just have to iron it on, pull the carrier sheet off, do the next layer, pull that carrier sheet off, and so on for each layer. All right. So hopefully you can see that okay. I'm going to go ahead and use my heat transfer pressing sheet just to protect things. And again, this is set at 320. It's my Easy Press 2. And I'm going to be doing it for less than 15 seconds, hopefully. All right. Now this is the first time that I've worked with this specific material, so I'm not sure at what tack level it's going to need. But again, okay, so it looks like it's sticking, so that's perfect. If it looked like it wasn't, then I would just simply put it back down and do it for a little bit longer. So I think I did that about 10 seconds. Just want to pull it nice and carefully. And again, I'm just doing it less time to protect the iron on so it doesn't get too much on it, too much heat. Okay. So that looks good. Just apply some heat. Perfect. Alrighty. Okay, and now the tires. All right. And our final layer for the truck is going to be the tree. Now you can layer regular iron on. I wouldn't suggest layering too many layers on top of each other. But what this does is it enables you, when they already have it layered like this for you, or, you know, at some point I'll do a video and show you how to slice and layer a video that isn't, or not a video, layer a design that hasn't been layered like this. There are ways to do it. I don't want people to be limited if they just don't know how to do things in Cricut Design Space. There's so many things you can do with the tools in Design Space without ever having to go outside and get outside SVGs. But I do make them, and sometimes I do like making them, and I will definitely be supplying free files to people. But I really want to show people how to utilize Cricut Design Space for what it's really meant to be. Alright, so we're going to do another quickie, or actually this one is the final for the truck, so I'm going to go ahead and do the full 15. This is going to be so cute. I have a garden flag outside in my front flower bed, and we probably have about, I don't know, 3 flags outside in the backyard. I really like them. They bring me cheer. And I just think I love decorating, so it's just a way you can decorate outside. Also, what's really nice is the one that I have currently. I've had it for quite a few years and it's kind of faded, so this is gonna jazz things up. Alrighty, isn't that cute? That is gonna be so blingy, especially when the sun shines on it. That's gonna be really pretty. All right, so let's get the Merry Christmas on there, and then we will be done with this super easy and quick project. And think, you know, if you didn't want this for yourself, how nice would this be for a gift for somebody? I think people would really appreciate something so pretty like this. And, you know, I don't know, like with your family, I know that my parents as well, there's no limits to these beautiful banners, whether it's the small one like this, the smaller one, or the big one. I mean, how fun is it just to be able to switch them up? You know, I think it's one of the coolest things you can do. I mean, you don't have to have one Christmas flag. You can have 10 flags and just change it 10 times through the season. It's just a fun way to switch things around. All right, so we're going to put this, will this fit this way? And it does. Okay, that way I can protect this as well. All right, so this one is just one peel, and it's just going to be 15 seconds, and then we will be done. Actually, you know what? I don't think it's going to get it all. I think we're going to have to do it this way. Yep, okay. 15 seconds. So I'm hoping to do at least 12 days of Christmas videos is what I'm doing. I'm really new to this, so it's a lot of work until I get an actual system down, so I'm not going to promise anything this year. I've already ran into some, I'll let that cool just a little bit, some issues with my camera. It's all a big, huge learning experience for sure. So recently I've learned a lot about shutter speed, and actually this one for some reason is wanting more press. So I'm going to do it again. So anyhow, learning a lot about shutter speed, aperture, ISO, contrast, noise reduction, so many things. So it's a lot to learn, but this is what I want to do. So I want to help you all. And I want to craft. So this is supposed to be a warm peel, not a hot peel, so that could be the problem. I might have tried to peel it too soon. In any case, I'm going to try to pop out at least 12 videos in a row, and if I get myself in a groove and like it, then I'm just going to keep on going through Christmas, but we'll see. I want to be careful. I don't want to overload myself. Okay, so let me go ahead and peel this back. Okay, this looks good. Yay! Alrighty. And she is done. Alright, how lovely is that? I just think that's beautiful. I mean, this is the type of stuff you can go into the store and find, and then just bring it up so you can see the whole track. That is so cute. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project. I found it was super easy to do, and it doesn't cost very much. It just makes a great gift. And I really enjoyed doing it. I love how the glitter turned out. It's very blingy and pretty. Well, until next time, continue to create with love. Take care. Bye.